Hey guys, this is Zach with ECS Tuning, and today we're going to be taking a look at an installation of P3 Gauge's new multi-gauge for the B9 chassis. They've got two options. One comes pre-installed in an OEM vent, and one just comes by itself, so you've got to do a little bit of surgery to install it into your original vent. But we'll show you both installs. Both of them are pretty easy and totally worth it because you get a lot of information out of these gauges. You get boost levels, 0 to 60 times, a lot of different input from a lot of different sensors, which we'll talk more about later. Like I said, they're pretty easy installs, and these are the only tools that you actually need. Okay, so we've got a T20 Torx driver, an 8mm socket on a 1/4" ratchet with a short little extension. And we've got our Schwab 11-piece trim tool kit. And if you don't own a trim tool kit, I really suggest picking one up because they're fantastic when you're working with anything that you don't want to damage. So we'll grab these and then we'll head over to the S4 and install the easier of the two, the one that already comes in the vent. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is get this lower dash panel off. So to do that, we're going to pop off this fuse panel cover on the side. And that will expose an 8mm bolt there. We've got two 8mm bolts in this little storage compartment, and then we've got an 8mm bolt next to the hood release right here and one on the right side. So we'll take those out and then the lower panel will come out. Okay, so there's just a bunch of clips under this panel, so some quick tugs should bring it right off. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is take this carbon panel off. I believe that is one T20 right in this ballpark. Yeah, right there is a T20. So we'll take that guy off. Okay, so we've got just some clips behind the carbon panel right there, so we'll take a nice puller trim tool. Give it some tugs. Drop that. Okay, one connector. Disconnected. So now we've got two 8mm screws here, and I believe that's it, and then the vent will come out. Okay, now this thing should be ready to pull out, but we've got to be careful of this. This trim piece connects to this piece around the bezel. So as we pull it out, we will disconnect these two. Should just be one clip right there. Okay, that should free our vent. One clip. Okay, and this thing's out. Okay, so take your new unit. Obviously installation is going to be pretty similar to the reverse of removal, but with a few little things. Like one, we've got to route our cable. So we're just going to kind of hang it down through the hole in front of, so it comes out the bottom of the vent will mate up there, and then this will just be dangling down, and we will tie it up in a little bit. So let's get this top connector reconnected. Okay. That clipped into place. All clipped in. We'll reinstall two 8mm. Fish this around. And we want it to hang in a place that it's going to be out of the way, but this plugs into the OBD2 port, so we obviously want to bring it down right near that. Okay, so we're tying up these extra wires. These are for analog inputs. This is for an external boost pressure sensor, and this green wire is for the auto dimming feature that you can use, but you don't have to use any of it, and we're just going to do the OBD2 install. You can manually dim the gauge, so we'll just do that when we want to. It'll read boost pressure off of OBD2, and we don't need the analog inputs. So we're just going to tie these up and get them out of the way. Okay, so I've got the cables kind of tied up so we don't have any excess just banging around in there. We're going to tighten up this connector, and then you can see I've got a piece of double-sided tape on this little box here. I'm going to mount all this on top of this little storage tray right here. So I'm going to peel this off, and then we'll route this. So I've got the cable already plugged into the OBD2 port, so we'll just route it up considering where the lower dash panel will go and what it'll cover. Go on top of the storage tray. And then sticker down, that's a nice placement. Plug this bugger in. Okay. Now, okay, so we're going to put the carbon panel back in real quick, reconnect that, and this is our T20 screw. Line up your clips. Okay, grab a screw, get her started. All right, so now we're just going to put in the lower dash panel. It can be a little tricky to line up, but shouldn't be too bad. Okay, make sure all your clips are lined up. Okay, and then reinstall the 5 8mm bolts that we took out at the beginning. Got one on the side, 2 in the storage tray, and then 2 underneath. Okay, all that's tight. All we gotta do now is reinstall this little side panel. Make sure your clips are lined up before you push them. Okay, and that is done. Okay, so we've got the vent assembly out of the B9A4. The process to remove it was the exact same as in the S4, but now we're gonna show you how to remove the actual vent from the assembly and remove the slats and replace them with the P3 gauge. It's not that hard, so take a look. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is get this wire out of the way so that we can pull the vent out like that. All right, now we need to get these clips disconnected all the way around the vent. Just kind of lightly push up on them while you're pulling back. Kind of got to do them together a little bit. There we go with those. Now to the bottom, we've got the same thing down here, which I know you can't see, but I'm just gonna trust me. We're just pulling back on the vent while trying to dislodge these clips. Okay, now back to this clip on the bottom. There we go. Okay, I think, what are we stuck on here? Stuck on the clip, okay. Okay, so now the vent itself is out, and you can see where the slats actually pop in. So they slide into this side and just clip in over here. So we're just gonna try to gently pull these ones out. Maybe a tool is necessary. Okay. Got 2 out, nice. Okay, so now the 3-pack comes out and they're attached to each other. So try to keep them together, and they'll just pull out of that side. Okay, so the first thing we need to do before installing this is feed the cable through. So get it flat, And then it comes out of the angled side of the gauge, so it's going to sit in there like that. So we will run it through the far side there. And then bring her on back. Okay, now ready to stick her in. So you will pop it in to the side opposite the vent slider, and that's it. Okay, so we're gonna pop the vent back into the housing. As always, get your clips lined up before you push anything. Okay. That's good. Okay, we'll get this wire back into place that we took out. And then we're going to go reinstall it in the A4, and that procedure is the same as what we just showed you in the S4. All right, so we got the gauge installed in both cars, the A4 and the S4. So now we're going to head out and check out what they can actually do. So we'll just pick one of the cars and hit the streets. Just kidding. Okay, so this thing has a lot of functions. We're going to roll through them all real quick. This currently is battery voltage. Then you've got air to fuel ratio, boost, analog 1 and 2, coolant temperature, air temperature, ignition timing, exhaust gas temperature, throttle position, RPMs with a shift light that you can set, vehicle speed, and our 0 to 60 timer. And then it says it's ready until it sees any wheel speed. So I'm gonna hit up some launch control and see what this thing can do. Dang those shifts, 4.53. So we've got it in boost gauge mode now, and you can see it's pretty clear readout, pretty nice. I like that a lot. Running about 12.5 pounds, give or take. This thing's stock, so I guess that's about what you'd expect. All right guys, thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you with your install. You can go to ecstuning.com to pick up a P3 gauge for your B9 or for a plethora of other chassis.